Christmas in Lakeshore was like a storybook fairy tale. Streets were lined with tiny white lights and wreaths that hung from every light post on Main Street. The windows were decorated, and shop owners went all out with decorating their storefronts. Even the hospitals made sure to deck the halls and brighten it up for the sick patients, especially the children. The only place in Lakeshore that did not partake in the Christmas spirit was the Sanitarium. The founder of the Sanitarium, Dr. Samuel Constance, always said that maintaining a sterile environment look all year round was the best way to treat those suffering from a mental illness. The walls were always white, and the tile polished every night, leaving it shiny with no trace of dirt. Dr. Constance took pride in his sanitarium, especially with it being the only sanitarium in Lakeshore. The sanitarium was home to many Lakeshore residents, and also those residents in other states suffering from severe mental illness. Dr. Constance specialized in treating those who suffered from schizoaffective disorders. These patients could no longer tell the difference between what was real and what was not, and Dr. Constance worked with them on finding their way back to reality. Some never found their way back to reality and lived in the confines of the sanitarium until they died. That morning, when Dr. Constance pulled into his parking spot at the sanitarium, he sat in his car staring up to the third-floor windows of the adult floor for those who suffered from a less severe mental illness. The white curtains, all closed, hung lifeless, giving the impression that no one was inside. That wasn't the case. The third floor held over 20 adult patients who suffered from depression, anxiety, and other disorders that did not require constant supervision. As Dr. Constance stared at the windows, his thoughts went back to a night he would never forget. A night that would change him and his sanitarium forever. May 9th, 2014, was the night that Dr. Constance and Sheriff Donovan discovered 2 bodies in a cabin just outside of Lakeshore. Bodies that belonged to what he believed to be 2 living beings, Anderson Hagler and Bentley Hagler. The horror and mayhem that happened that night at the Hagler house in Lakeshore was something out of a horror movie. Dr. Constance never imagined such evil could exist, nor did he think he would ever come in direct contact with the evil that was in that house. The only 2 survivors of the events that took place at the Hagler house were Deirdre Halsey and her daughter Skye. Crippled by the fear she witnessed that night, Deirdre was now a patient in the Lakeshore Sanitarium. The evil she claims to have seen left her without the ability to speak. When the police arrived that night at the Hagler house, Deirdre was found hiding in a bathtub, rocking back and forth, whispering a name that Lakeshore residents will forever remember. Katie Elkton. 7 months later, and several intense therapy sessions with Dr. Constance, Deirdre was still not speaking. A woman who took such pride in her appearance now looked battered and 30 pounds thinner. After 5 months of unsuccessful therapy treatments, Dr. Constance moved Deirdre to the 5th floor of the sanitarium. The 5th floor housed Lakeshore's severely mentally insane. The patients on this floor were under constant nurse supervision in case someone got the idea to harm themselves or others. It was also the only floor in the sanitarium that once a patient was moved to, they never left alive. A nurse leaving her shift waved, pulling Dr. Constance out of his thoughts. Shaking his head, he waved as the nurse walked past his car. Pushing the memories back from the night of May 9th, 2014, Dr. Constance stepped out of his car and adjusted his jacket. He ignored the uneasy feeling he had in the pit of his stomach and grabbed his leather briefcase and made his way into the sanitarium.